Installing StruxureWare Plant Operation Vijeo Historian is now easier than ever. In the latest release, version 4.5, much of the installation process has been automated, and users will find that getting started with Historian is now a simpler and more seamless experience. This video will guide you through the installation process. We will first describe the hardware and software requirements and then go through the steps involved in the software installation process. Before you begin, you should make sure that your computer meets the hardware requirements associated with the project you want to run and has the required system software to support the installation. Here we're using Windows Server 2008 R2 Service Pack 1, but Windows 7 Service Pack 1 is also supported. We recommend that you run a 64-bit operating system. However, if a 32-bit operating system is in use, please note that the installation process has changed. You can find more information in the most recent installation guide on the SCADA and MES Global Support website. Before starting the installation process, you will need to uninstall any existing .NET framework and install the 32-bit Java runtime environment. If you are upgrading from an earlier version of Plant Operation Vijeo Historian, you will need to uninstall it as well as any existing .NET framework, as the product does not support direct upgrades. Now let's get started with the installation process. It consists of a SQL installation followed by a Historian installation. The Historian installation itself consists of the installation of the core product as well as the additional features that are commonly configured. This should take about an hour, but we've speeded up the process in this video. Insert the installation disk or run the launch.exe file in your installation media. The Historian setup dialog will pop up. You need to install SQL Server 2012 first. It is used for the configuration and storage of project data in Plant Operation Vijeo Historian. If you already have SQL Server 2012, move on to installation of Plant Operation Vijeo Historian. The Historian SQL install wizard will appear. It wraps the traditional SQL installer, allowing you to only install the required features while pre-configuring the relevant options for you automatically. Click Next. You will need to accept the terms of the license agreement to move forward. Select your preferred language and click Next. In the next dialog, indicate if you need optional components related to the Historian. Leave that box checked unless you will not be distributing reports from this computer. Click Next. Here you need to specify your SQL Server System Admin password. Please note that this password is subject to Windows password complexity requirements. By default, the installer will select Vijeo Historian as the instance name. If you wish to customize the instance name, please use the Named Instance option and type the required name. The wizard is now ready to start the installation process. Click Install if you are happy with the previous settings you have made. Historian's SQL installer will install the required .NET framework dependencies for you automatically. Then it launches the Microsoft SQL installer itself with the configured settings. This process should take around 40 minutes. Once the installation is completed, click OK. The Vijeo Historian setup dialog will pop up. Select Vijeo Historian installation and click Next. This will start off a Windows Components check, a new feature in version 4.5. It automates the verification of prerequisite software and Windows components, and the installation of all the necessary components identified as missing. Select Turn On features to turn on the required features. Click Next to move on to the core Historian installation. A pop-up will appear for .NET Framework 4.5 installation. Click OK to continue. Accept the terms of the license agreement and click Next. By default, the Historian maintainer will be installed, allowing users to manage their database version. Click Next. The installer will begin to install various components used by the product, such as the Sentinel drivers which are used for licensing. It will install the .NET Framework 4.5 for you, followed by various files and utilities that are used by Plant Operation Vijeo Historian. Historian itself uses .NET Framework 4.5, whereas the SQL install uses 3.5 Service Pack 1. By allowing the installer to configure this for you, the compatibility issues between these versions are automatically resolved. The installation will finalize the install of miscellaneous SQL libraries that are used by the product for SQL connections. A dialog will warn you if the Java runtime environment is an older version from the latest available from Oracle. As mentioned in the prerequisites, we recommend that you install the latest version for security and performance enhancements. Click OK. It will begin to install the Schneider Electric Floating License Manager components. Once the installation is complete, you will be prompted for a SQL Server Service restart. Click Yes to proceed. The installation is now complete. Click Finish and exit the installer. The new navigation page is displayed, providing a single point of entry to the most frequently used Vijeo Historian features, such as more than 50 standard reports, including out-of-the-box alarm and energy reports. For more information on Plant Operation Vijeo Historian, please contact your local Schneider Electric representative. For any assistance or technical support, please contact your SCADA and MES Global Support representative.